story that made headlines this week concerning something we talk about from time to time, and that's the OQLF letting people know you can't do this and you can't do that. Well, in the case of our next guest, she owns a little place in Hull. It's called Petites Gamines. It's a cafe in the downtown Hull area. And she was told by the OQLF, in fact, received a complaint, or someone complained rather about her, that her posts, her promotional posts on Instagram, had to be exclusively in French, or at least they couldn't be in just English. Gabrielle Sexton is owner of the restaurant. We call it a restaurant or a cafe?
Cafe, bakery, either way.
So I think a lot of people appreciate the fact that when you got this, first of all, when you got this notice from the OQLF, you were surprised. Obviously, you didn't know this was coming. No one had said anything to you, right?
No, that was the first time we ever heard about it.
So what happened? You get a notice in the mail, and what did they tell you?
It was an email that we received saying that the attached document was a complaint that was lodged by a citizen and saying that we were violating the Quebec language laws and that our Instagram had to be in French, and they were hoping for our collaboration as soon as possible to make the changes.
So I guess my first question would be, how'd you react to that?
Well, it was outrageous to read that, and as a lot of people saw, we kind of didn't really take well to it, and then we decided to kind of do a soft protest of what we read. So we also asked them in return what the next steps were if there was an escalation and if we didn't comply to the message that we received, and it was really, really vague, so we weren't really convinced that was a serious offense. So
first of all, with respect to the stuff you post on Instagram, what do you put up there?
Well, we just post everything that's related to our bakery, what's available on the day, and then other stuff like community stuff. We're pretty implicated in a few organizations, and we do that. So it's like at the base, it's how to communicate with our customers what we have to serve on the day, but we do other stuff as well.
Okay, so in the interim, you asked what's going to happen if we don't. You're still pretty much saying, you know what, you're not going to deal with this, right? This is not something you're going to do just because someone asked you to?
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, it wasn't a conscious decision to not post in French.
Right.
I'm a small business owner. We have a lot on our plate to do. So for simplicity, and because the demographics showed that, Instagram was more Anglophone followed and Facebook was more Francophone followed, we decided to split it down the line and then just do that. We've been doing that for 10 years and it's never been an issue.
Wow.
So getting that now is just kind of it feels like a non-issue as well, and it feels like taxpayer money should be spent on more important stuff than that.
Yeah, I think we can all agree with that. By the way, I should point out your establishment, you serve people in French all the time, right? It's not a problem. That's never been an issue.
No, and that's never been an issue. All our signage here is in French. All our communications, like internally and via email and such, are in French to our customers, unless they speak English. So it's not. It's literally only on Instagram that's been an issue.
And after this story sort of, got some publicity, went viral, as they say, I understand business has never been better?
Yeah, it's brought us a lot of new customers.
Wow.
We've had a lot of negative stuff to deal with, but I mean, once you put yourself on the internet, that kind of comes with the package, so that's not a big surprise there. But I mean, we've had a lot of stories coming out of people, feeling discriminated against because they weren't fully bilingual, and people having to shut down their businesses. It's a little crazy how this has been taking a turn on a lot of people.
Have you heard from other businesses as well?
Yeah. A few of them that were forced to close for reasons of harassment, and also, like the fifth on cost side is coming down on them for several things.
So
yeah.
Where does it now? I got a note here that says, "Tell me this is true. You've changed your cafe's Instagram handle to posting in German. The name."
So the day after we got the email, we're like, well, you know what? We'll make a point that even if you don't speak English, you can still understand what we're putting on Instagram, because there is a translate button under every post, right? Mm-hmm. So we just decided to convert it to German to make that point, and the point got across. We even had some German tourists come in for coffee, and everyone's been enjoying that. So we might just do the rounds and like make it a fully inclusive webpage and go through all the languages that we
Good for
can get
you.
our hands on.
Good for you. I think that's wonderful. Have you heard from the OQLF again?
Not yet. It was stated that the case was closed. I'm not really sure what that means and how that came about, but I know for sure some people are feeling, emboldened to take us down. So I know there's going to be more complaints done, but we'll just deal with them as they come and see where that goes.
By the way, with respect to that, so when you said negative, you were seeing some posts, I guess, from people in French calling you out for not doing this?
Yeah, calling us out for not doing this. Some people calling us out for the way that we've dealt with it, which we found, using humor to diffuse it was the best avenue for us to do so. But also a lot of people have taken upon themselves to give us, false, bad one-star reviews on Google. So we're managing that now too. But
unbelievable.
we can't control that. Yeah. And it's all in the name of preserving their French language. But at the end of the day, it's got nothing to do with it,
Yeah, it's an attack for the sake of an attack, right? Exactly.
Exactly.
Meantime, good for you that you're dealing with this the way you are. It's nice to see the community supporting you as well. And I want to just say again, it's not as if you're flaunting this in their face. You serve customers in French. That's not a problem. Your signage is all in French. So good for you for doing this. And maybe we can check in with you in a while and see how things are going. I thank you so much for your time.
For sure. Thanks so much.
You bet. So there you go. Gabrielle Sexton, if you're in the Hull area, going down to Gatineau, might want to go there. It's called Petites, like plural, feminine. Petites Gamines, Gamines. Basically thumbing her nose at the OQLF for basically going ahead and doing something so petty. Like I said, good for her.